Travis Wayne Goodsoe. So yeah, we're now starting to see the internal collapsing that we've all anticipated on the external surface. Or maybe it's just me, as I've been telling you. The whole situation was easy to fix. And it was easy to prevent. We shouldn't have to be in this coronavirus situation. It's inexcusable for what happened to us. Even at the state level and church level, what they did to us was wrong. And now it seems like it's an unstoppable force because of how it's spread. But it's easy to fix. We just have to do away with our monetary economic system. And those with the money are ordering, don't you dare. I mean, it's not like, they're going to lose money. It's just they're not going to gain more money. But it's an easy fix. And we could have it fixed and taken care of by the end of the year without a vaccine. But the rich don't want to stop. So, yeah, see, now it's collapsing. Chuck Grassley is tested positive, according to Fox News. And so Chuck Grassley is another one of those who should die. Just like Trump should have died. Why didn't he die? Oh, he was cured. Without a vaccine? Huh? Oh, are we sure he didn't have a vaccine? A germaphobe who purposely exposed himself to the virus the whole time. Yeah, we're sure he didn't get a vaccine and was finally cured when it was publicly exposed that there was no way out of it, as Hope Hicks incident confirmed that Trump had to go down as being infected. But yeah, once we start seeing senators dying, I mean, the old cane train, that's one thing, but yeah, we're going to start seeing prominent people dropping pretty soon here. And yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath for a vaccine. They can promise a lot of things, but until it's actually out and we actually see that it's working, I wouldn't give much confidence in it. Apparently, I'm not getting people's attention. I know that my audience is primarily Ex Mormon. So why am I not appealing to you guys? I mean, I try to cater it to Mormons, hoping that a Mormon will stumble upon it and wake up. Oh, wow. Oh, crap. The church is false. and leave like we all did. But, no. Let's go over some comments. The Anonymous Latter-day Saint, replying, one of my few who have come to the LDS Mormon Science Denier Scientists, with the thumbnail of the inverted pentagram on the Salt Lake Temple. You guys do know that, right? You were in the church long enough to know that there's inverted pentagrams for the church. That's our symbol as Mormons. You do know this, right? This isn't shocking and new to you. So, yeah, the Anonymous Latter-day Saint. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. See, he needs to be very careful, because YouTube is on the hunt for anybody saying just feelings. Because the production company has flagged it for copyright violations. As I don't use that in any more of my videos because I'm not able to monetize it. I can still do videos with it, but it just gives the YouTube employees excuses to come after me. So I back off on that one and allow them to censor me. He makes reference to Spinal Tap, Smell the Glove. And then Benjamin commented on, where is LDS Zion? That was done a long time ago, like last week or something, wasn't it? But the one where I almost made these into a series with consistent titles, but I decided they're not really breakouts, so. But again, this is trying to cater to Mormons, though the majority of you are not Mormon or ex-Mormon for the most part. And so I'm pretty sure you guys remember that we're supposed to go to Zion in the latter days, as we were taught and traditionally understood Missouri, which we don't own. So, yeah, the Utah church therefore says, oh no, we're not going to Missouri, we're staying right here. This is Zion now. Yeah, I don't want to live here. This is not a place of safety, refuge, and peace. It is if you conform and comply, Travis. If we take away your agency, there will be peace. And so, for the Book of Mormon warns of American Civil War, he says Trump will get thrown out of Washington and go to South Carolina. It references Section 77 of the Doctrine and Covenants. Oh, okay. So this is Joseph Smith's interpreting the Revelation chapter just various passages in Revelation, I guess. And so, where's South Carolina? I'm not sure about this. Yeah, I don't see South Carolina. Are you referring to the one about the Civil War one? Yeah, 87. Is that what you meant to put? The northern states and the southern states. The wars will shortly come to pass, beginning at the rebellion of South Carolina, and will eventually terminate in the death and misery of many souls. And at that time will come, and the time will come. And so the first verse is the Civil War. However, in verse 2, he's now talking about a future time. He says, and the time will come that war will be poured out upon all nations, beginning at this place. We can assume South Carolina. However, he goes on in verse 3, for behold, the southern states shall be divided against the northern states, and the southern states will call on other nations, in even the nation of Great Britain, as it is called upon a nation, and war upon all nations. And it shall come to pass after many days, slaves shall rise up against their masters. And so again, we have the time will come, and he's talking about the southern and the northern states split. And then he talks about another it shall come to pass after many days that slaves shall rise up against their masters. And people have always assumed, it's all about the Civil War, and it didn't happen because it wasn't about the slaves, and and whatever excuse. But what's going on this year under Trump? Slaves are rising up. What is a slave? Somebody who gets paid for working. They have a place to stay, but they don't get paid enough to leave. They're like prisoners because they're paid so little. Again, who runs this nation and the world? The rich. They don't want to give up their money. And so we are all their slaves. And who's rising up against their masters? But we're not marshaled and disciplined for war. And it shall come to pass, the remnants who are left and will marshal themselves, and shall become exceedingly angry, and vex the Gentiles with a sore vexation, which is America. That's what's referred to as the Gentiles, even in the Book of Mormon. Thus, among the Gentiles is the formation of the great and abominable church. Among Americans is the formation of the great and abominable church, whose founder is the devil, whose symbol is the inverted pentagram. It's not complicated. You just have to step out of the Mormonism box and, oh my God, it's us. But yeah, the cry of the saints and the blood of the saints shall cease to come up before the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth from the earth to be avenged of their enemies. So yeah, saints are being murdered by the church. Nelson, again, for a third time, is going to say, have faith to cure coronavirus. Okay, I trust the prophet. I'm going to pray and have both faith in Jesus to cure me of coronavirus. And should we die? So no. Trust the Book of Mormon on that, Benjamin. I did that video. I don't know if it was in that one. But, yeah, he goes north. And so he most likely beelines it over the North Pole into Russia. Because Canada doesn't want him. He's already made enemies with Canada. And Trump doesn't want to go to Paris. Macron and Melania have a little thing going on. If you missed that, back when Trump and Melania went to Paris to visit Macron, he and her were hitting it off, and you can see Trump keeping an eye on her and not looking happy. Let's get to the one I left for Amanda. This was from Mormon Scriptures Gave Day and Hour of Latter Days, and she brings up an interesting thing that I've always wondered, and I put in one of my books for Mormons about Moses from the historical records, which I showed a comparison to Akhenaten. In regards to the resurrection, since knowing that the Gospels are also fiction, prophecies about the latter-day Messiah, there therefore wasn't a resurrection during the Roman period. And so Jesus in the Book of Mormon fiction also brings up resurrection of the dead. Dead rise from the grave. I'm sure it's the zombie apocalypse. Rapture Palooza. Oops, we just killed Jesus on his Pegasus horse. But that always had me wondering, because the Egyptians, that's the whole thing they're focused on, is that there will be a resurrection. And people have, over the millennia, have laughed at them. Nobody's been resurrected. You guys are fools. Your religion is a fake news. But scriptures keep talking about resurrection coming. And so I've often wondered about this. And I am aware that we have the capability now to take out faulty DNA parts, and when we take them out, it grows back good as new. So we can fix people's DNA, so that if there's any kind of maladies with the body, we can fix it in the DNA strand. So you'd think that would be awesome news, but nonetheless, it's not being pursued any further, as I understand it. But we do have the capability to prolong human life now. And if we would stop polluting our earth, that would also prolong everybody's life. And if we would provide health care for everybody, that would help to prolong people's lifespans, and etc., etc., etc. But those in power don't want too many slaves, because then the slaves might rise up against them. So they keep throwing out the fake news of, we've got a population crisis, we need to deplete the surplus population. I even heard it on PBS, of all places. Dear God. There is no population crisis. We can sustain an indefinite number of people. It's just people with money don't want to lose their money, or not get the amount of money that they're getting. For some reason they think that they're going to lose out if everybody else suffers and they get the most. And they don't get the most. With resurrection, that would require a knowledge of DNA reconstruction. Cloning, cloning's easy to do. It's not really cloning. All it is creating another twin. That's all it is. Because with the sheep that they did, they took out a female sheep's eggs and denucleus them, took out the nuclei, and so it was just the egg shell itself. And so then they took the baby lamb that they wanted to replicate, and just took the full cell from that and plugged it into the empty nucleus egg, and thus produced a twin. And so I guess that would be a paternal twin, because it's not splitting of the egg, it's splitting of the sperm, in that sense, sort of, kind of. Or would it be an identical twin? Because you are using a split egg, but of a different female. So yeah, it would be a complete, it would be an identical twin. Huh, okay. So yeah, identical twin. That's what they are calling cloning. So it's not really cloning. We aren't to the stage yet where we can just form a human male adult or a female adult. And we're getting close though, AI. They now have sex bots. But we're still a ways from an actual human replica body. People are concerned, oh, you're going to create life and then use it for body parts to prolong life. So, yeah. Yeah, if you're going to create a life, you don't want to create a life for the purpose of body parts, unless you don't put a brain in. But if you don't put a brain in, how is the body going to function, to be preserved, unless that's some goop that you stick it in? So in that case, there's no problem with that, if they can do that. There is no moral jeopardy, as Christians like to claim, because you're not actually creating a life, you're just replicating body parts. But the transfer of a person's consciousness is what people think are typically wanting to think when they're thinking about cloning, and they think that oh I'm taking a cell from my body and into somebody else's body, and therefore it's me, but it's not me. And no, that's not the way it works. You have to actually transfer consciousness, like in The Sixth Day with Schwarzenegger, and we don't have that technology yet. The amount of terabyte data is far beyond terabyte. So, and how do I know this? Because my videos, it's about a gigabyte after saving it at 720, whatever that's called. And so 1 gigabyte at 720 for an hour. I probably should stop now, huh? But if you therefore take all of the days of our lives, which we'll round it up to 100, and so 365 days was 36,500 days, and then there's 24 hours in a day. Nope. 26, 14, 10, 0, 6, 7, 8. So that's 876,000 hours. And so that's okay. Maybe it can fit on a terabyte drive. So 1,000 hours is that a, how does that work? So it's 1,000. So it's 100. No. I think it is. So is it 876 terabytes? Am I getting this right? Or is it even more than that? So 1 gigabyte Trying to think now. 900. Okay, yeah, it's just 100 or 1,000 gigabytes. Yeah, 1,000 gigabytes is a terabyte. So yeah, it's 876 terabytes. And so we're almost into the next thing, which is a quadrubyte or whatever is next after that. So, wow, yeah, that's a lot of 5 terabytes, isn't it? So let's find out. Divided by 5. It's 1, 7. 175. Wow. And then they're about $150 each. It can be done. So maybe we can transfer consciousness. But, well, yeah, it would all be video. Because audio is less. And pictures are less. But most of our life is pretty much video. But it does require an interactive video experience where you actually feel what you're experiencing. Touch, taste, sight, smell, etc. Alright. So, yeah, I've always been wondering about how the resurrection is going to occur in the real world rather than the fantasy religious world. Oh, they're just going to rise up from the grave like zombies, and then the flesh will magically appear like that one apostate Mormon from the Brighamites. Was it John Taylor? Yeah. Why are you trusting John Taylor for your source of information of religious stuff? Yeah. Nonsense. Alrighty. Yeah, Joseph Smith Jr. as a translator, very poor. Nobody's interested. Well, moderate amount, again, for the lawsuit. A few people are keeping up to date. And only the one guy for This Is Not a Banana. It's an inverted pentagram. And, yeah, people are giving up on my top video on the old channel, because not many people are clicking on the link anymore. People are giving up on the last days. Like I did the video not too long ago, that people are literally cursing God and waiting to die with coronavirus. If I get it, I get it. And if I die, I die. It's God's will. It's my time. That's sad.